Welcome to the Your Money Hour podcast. I am your host, Dakota Grady. So tonight I have a guest from Florida, actually. Her name is Sandra Morno with SSBM Consulting. Her and her sister started a business and actually know Sandra through a friend of ours, Carolyn Owens, who also has a podcast. So without further ado, welcome to the show, Sandra.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm excited to talk to you tonight.
Yes, yes, yes. So earlier we had a mishap, so now we're back online.
Oh, oh.
So tell us about what you do at SSBM and tell us what does that mean?
Oh, it's actually just me and my sister's initials. I could not really think of a name, so it's Sandra Sophie Beatrice. That's her middle name, Morno. So that's yeah, it's not very creative.
So do
Oh
you get
man.
questions? People ask you questions about what that means?
Yeah, they do. They're like,
Yeah.
"What in the world?" Like, so when I tell them, they're like, "Oh, that's kind of cute." I would have never thought that. I was just like, "Yeah, it just was easy."
So what do you do at SSBM, you and your sister?
Well, so I am pretty much the lead. My sister's kind of like that back office. I am an IRS enrolled agent, pretty much. I'm the numbers person of the company, dealing with small business owners and really just trying to help people understand how important their money is and having a relationship with their money, you know. And like you said, it's tax season, and a lot of people are out here scrambling, not realizing that it's not a January through April thing, but it's a year-round process. And so that's kind of what I do. I really try to educate business owners on how to get a better understanding of their financials. So we work together all year long so that they can keep more of their money in their pocket because I'm sure that's what everybody's trying to do. They're not trying to overpay nobody anything. So,
True, true. So how did you get started being an enrolled agent? Like talk about your story to get to where you are and how you start your business.
okay. So I was actually working on my master's degree and I was back in Miami. And a friend of mine who had an accounting firm was just like, "Hey, why don't you come work for me?" And it fit my schedule. Honestly, that's how I got into this. I had no intentions of still being in this business over 10 years later. I was actually trying to go into sports marketing, right? And sports management. So I did it for a couple of years, and it was okay. It was kind of boring to me, but he kept pushing me. He was just like, "Well, you're good at this, and you're good at helping people." So he kept waving these shiny carrots in front of me, and I was just like, "Oh, okay. Well, you're gonna pay me to do this, so why not keep doing it?" And that's how I got my EA's license. I took the test. It was like three sections or three parts, and I passed it. One of the parts it took me three times to pass. That was, I'm not gonna lie, that was no joke. But I'm glad I did it. And so now I'm able to help, represent people in front of the IRS, people who have tax issues and stuff like that, and just really kind of advise them on the tax code and how to take advantage of all those tax advantages, all those tax strategies that are out there.
So I think on your site, your website, you have think help people stop the leaks. Talk about that
Yes.
part.
Yeah, so yeah, we help stop money leaks in your business. That's my little catchphrase because a lot of the times we don't realize that we're just kind of leaking money, right? You spend money frivolously or you spend money on things that don't give you a return on investment. So I try to break it down to people like on the basics, right? Like I just actually got off a call with someone and she doesn't have a budget for her business, and I was just like, how does that work? Like, how do you know what's going on? She doesn't have an accounting system, right? Like, she doesn't have a QuickBooks or a Wave apps. And I'm just like, that's where the money starts leaking because you have no idea what's going on with your money. So I kind of like to start off with that foundation with people and then kind of work their way up. And it, applies to their taxes, So that's why I have that cash line.
All right. And it's if you don't know where your money's going, it's like it's gone.
Yeah.
And whether it's a business or personal. So I mean, I do personal finance too, but the accounting part of it. Talk about that. You mentioned your client doesn't have an accounting system. Without that, a business will go under. Is that fair to say?
Exactly.
I
Yes.
mean, you making money, that's good. I tell people, sales, marketing, operations are all important, but if you don't have accounting, you may as well close your business. Talk about that part. I mean, being in the field of accounting, where have you seen businesses fail in terms of being prepared with the finances?
Um, God, it's so sad when I see how a lot of people run their businesses. I actually have a client who every year, I hate to say it, I cringe when he sends me over his information because it's literally sheets of paper that he just writes down totals and
Hmm.
then circles the total of that particular section. And I'm just like, oh my God. Are you serious right now? No lie. Like I would show it to you, but I don't want to put that man's business out there like that. And now finally, because he's listening to everyone else talking to his ear instead of me, like he's using QuickBooks, but I'm like, that's way too advanced for you. But you know what? I hope you can do it. But you know, people don't realize you need to see what's going on with your money. Like your bank balance doesn't tell you anything. And unfortunately, a lot of people think it does. They're like, oh, I got money in the bank. I'm like, yeah, but you ain't paying none of your bills. So that don't mean nothing.
That's very true because you may have things that are maybe outstanding, like payroll. You got to have money to cover payroll. In my experience, I've never seen anybody pay payroll with a credit card. I mean, you got to have money, right? You got to have cash,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's possible.
Like, I mean,
Yeah,
so
it's sad.
I noticed people, businesses, they start businesses, but they don't have like a bank account. How vital is that for your business?
It's extremely vital, especially after the year that we just had. So many people, unfortunately, did not get any of these loans because their business was their personal account, right? Their business account was their personal account. So how do you differentiate? And it's just as simple as just opening up another account, even if it's in your name, but just specifically for that business. And uh, I stress that now to my clients. Like as soon as I help them start their business. I'm like, please go get a business account. I have a couple of bankers that you can do it with. You can do it online, but get you a business account because that's going to save you in the long run, especially
It's
when it comes to your taxes.
it's true. It's true. And being able to distinguish what is income for your business and what's personal is important.
Mm-hmm.
Very important. I mean, that's how you do your financials. Income minus expenses give you either net income or net loss.
Right.
And people don't. I mean, it's good that people they want to have a business and start businesses. They have ambition, but having the foundation of having an accounting system is very important. And talk about how have you helped clients change their lives and their businesses? Because that's what we do as accountants. People may not see the value in that, but we provide a valuable service. Talk about that.
Um, yeah, I am a firm believer of the numbers don't lie. So that's usually what I do with my clients, right? Like they come to me with these crazy numbers, or like that client that I told you that just I don't even know what to call that these days. But after I kind of formulate a profit and loss from that, I'm like, this is what you're looking like, right? Because he has no idea. All he knows is like how much he made and the total of these things, but he doesn't know what the bottom line is until I tell him. And I
Mhm.
think that's just so vital for people to see and understand what's going on with their numbers so that they can know what to adjust or what to bring in or how to change their structure. It opens up the door for so many things. You look at a profit and loss, you're like, what you doing? we need to help you. Otherwise, you're going to be writing the IRS a really big fat check, and you don't want that.
So, in terms of tax season, how can businesses and individuals prepare for tax season?
Well, I mean, a lot of the times people have like, these checklists. And, this year, I think it's so much more important to have a checklist, right? Of everything that you're going to need. And the IRS is just popping up surprises on us left and right. So I don't, I don't even know what this tax season is going to look like. But just contacting your whoever you work with and seeing if they have some type of a checklist for you. For For business owners, maybe having a list of everything that you can deduct. Ask your professional if they have like a small business deductions list of everything that they can possibly deduct. You know what I mean? Um, and also just really being mindful, going over your books. It's too late to change anything now, unfortunately. There are maybe a couple of things you can do, but really just reviewing your numbers before you give that over to someone so you can kind of know where you stand. Because, I mean, a lot of people, they have no idea what's on their tax return until it's too late. And by then they're in trouble.
All right. So in terms of your business, what have you learned in your business that you help clients with in terms of looking at the numbers, understanding the trends, or maybe the gross net profit? How do you help them with that?
Well, a lot of my clients come to me as LLCs, right? Because that's what everyone knows to be an LLC. And I educate them on, well, this is good on paper, but not tax wise. So most of my clients, I end up just changing them, their tax status to an S corp, right? And so that opens up the door for payroll and for healthcare, and for retirement and for them to hire their children. It opens up the door for so many opportunities for them, and it also lowers their tax rate.
Yes.
So right. So what I do is, they come to me and I'll show them this is how you are right now, but this is where you could be. And once they see how much they're saving, that self-employment tax ain't no joke. So once they see that, they're just like, oh my God, why didn't anyone tell me? And that's how it starts, right? So once I show them those savings, then they're more amping. They'll listen a little bit more to me now because they're like, okay, well, you saved me this amount of money. Let me let you walk me through the process.
It's true. It's true. And the thing is, with that, the unemployment tax 15.3% roughly.
Right.
And when you do get when you change from the LLC, single member LLC that is, to an S corp, you get a K1. So you're not basically paying the employment tax again.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the business tax, of course, but still, I mean, it's a lower tax bracket for the individual. So you're basically taxed at the individual rate. You are on the LLC, but you're taxed with the self-employment tax as well. So what challenges do you see right now for just our industry in general? What challenges do you see in the accounting industry, tax industry?
Um, I think too many people are not doing a good enough job. It's more so transactional, right? It's just like, all right, I see you January through April, and that's it. I don't give you any type of advice. And then it's just rinse and repeat. And that's how so many people get in trouble. I feel like more people in our industry need to work with people all year long. Or offer some type of out of tax season type service. Like, let me educate you on what you should be doing. Let me educate you on how you can save money. Let me show you the different, strategies that are out there for you to save money. I mean, the rich people do it, right? They have that help all year long. Look at Amazon and Netflix. I know a lot of people hate on them, but they're just taking advantage of a tax code that's there for them, and they have that consistent help. And they're not really worried about no refund. I think that's another problem. Like, people worried about a refund. And that shouldn't be the case, but that's a whole nother story. So, but yeah.
Well, let's unpack the refund. The refund basically when people get a refund, they pay too much into the system, right? They pay too much tax.
Right, and you're fighting to get your money back.
Yeah, they're loaning the government money without being compensated. Because when you borrow money, you pay interest, right?
Right.
The government not paying people interest on their money that they're using.
Right.
So you want to break even or pay a little bit of tax or either owe a little bit. Not too much, not too little on both sides of the spectrum, right?
Right. Yeah.
So you mentioned about the quality of work. I've done auditing, tax, and accounting, right? And I've seen people, they move quickly. And we want to get things done quickly. We want to be efficient, right? But I've also seen when people move quickly and the work is sloppy. It's not quality. Talk about that. You mentioned, you alluded to it earlier, but have you seen that in your field or your business too, when people may do something quickly and they just don't care about the quality, they care about the quantity of things?
Yeah, I have seen that. I mean, and it kind of boils down to, what are their intentions, right? Do you want a refund or do you want to owe the IRS? So I've had clients who want to rush through the process, And then I'm like, did you give me everything? Is this the whole story? And then they get a happy gram, a couple of months later. And I'm like, well, I asked you, but you were so in a rush to get this money. And it's like you said about the interest thing, right? When you owe the IRS, they will compound that interest like it ain't no joke.
Mm.
So I'm constantly telling people, I'd rather you wait later to file than earlier and rush the process. Then we have to do an amendment, which that just creates a whole another animal and another fee because I'm not doing it for free. Because
Right.
someone that wanted to rush to do this.
And the thing is, I've experienced people, this is another topic, but when people want things done, but they don't value the quality of our work. Like I do accounting and taxes. People value doctors, lawyers, say accountants, CPAs, but for people who don't have a CPA license, all that people value the work we do. I'm like, without a bookkeeper or an accountant, your business will disappear, right? Because most people they don't know how to do accounting. And I think people they will pay for things that they value, but they don't want to pay for accounting services. Talk about that.
um, it's hard. It's like you said, they just don't understand the value of it, and we have to kind of consistently kind of beat them over the head, like, well, this is what this is doing, right? And then again, you have so many people out here that are willing to just charge like $5. I hate to say it. Well, I mean, not that cheap, but and so when they come to you, you know what you can provide, right? You know the value and the insight and the knowledge that you can give them. So you're charging what you're worth, and they're looking at you like, why are you charging all of this? And
Right.
I'm like, because I am going to save you money. I'm not just going to put some numbers in a box and be like, go about your business. And
Right.
so that's the struggle that we have. It sucks when people tell me, well, why do you charge so much? And I'm just like, you don't have to be my client. You can go. You can go.
Right. So that's the thing. Finding ideal clients. How do you find ideal clients in your business, and who have you focused on?
So I focus now on women of color because we kind of need the help. Like after last year, I noticed a lot of us just weren't getting the loans, weren't set up properly, weren't
Mm.
getting the education that we need. But my challenge is, of course, it is a male-dominated field
Mm-hmm.
with people that don't look like me. So it makes it even harder to really stress the value that I can bring. Even the people in
Mm.
my field look at me like, "What do you know?" You know what I mean?
Ooh.
And that tends to hurt sometimes. But like
Mm.
when I start to speak and start to school them, then they're like, "Oh, okay, I didn't expect that from this little chocolate girl." You know what I mean? So that's who I focus on, and I just feel like I said, we just need more of an education part aspect to our field, and I think so many people will do so much better.
Yes. So I mean, I'm minority too, and my experience of being minority in the accounting field, it has been challenging. But once you have the knowledge and information, you can't. No one can take it away from you. So you can go hard. I mean, no one knows everything. I had a guy as a CPA tell me, you don't have to know everything. You gotta know where to go to find the information.
Right. True. True.
So it's comforting to know that other people can look like you and still be able to help people in the process. So, what is one challenge that you face in your business as a business owner?
Um. Wow, that's a good question. I think really just getting my message out,
Mm.
and the value that I can bring. Because, nowadays social media is saturated, and
Mm.
I've never been one for social media. I feel like what we do is more kind of like referral based or face to face type things, right?
Mm.
So that's kind of been my challenge is really just um, finding my clientele and finding other people in the industry to align with that don't look
Mm.
at me as competition.
Ooh, talk about that right there because off camera, I mean, you and I talk and basically about being referral partners. Because honestly, in my opinion, there is enough money in the world for everybody to prosper, right? We agree on that,
Right.
right?
Yep.
So, how have you overcome that, or have you ever overcome that challenge of collaborating with people? Because it's about values. You gotta have the same values or similar values, right? You can't just say I want to be
Mhm.
partner with you. You gotta have the same value system. So have you overcome that challenge?
I have, and what it's been is just really building relationships. So it's not one like just one conversation, right? So there are a couple of people that we talk on a consistent basis. We have calls. We try to help each other. We try to mastermind, and so that we're all on that same page. And it's like you said. I mean, it's lonely at the top. So why not bring a group of people with you? And it's enough money out here, but some people, I think they just have that crabs in a bucket type mentality. Like, oh no, you finna come after what I have. And I'm like, do you know how big this world is? I don't even want that much of the pie. Like I want less than 1% of the pie. Like so why can't we work together? Like I don't do bookkeeping. Why can't a bookkeeper, I work with a bookkeeper, I send them, referrals, they send me tax people, we all get paid and everybody's
Right.
happy. But it's a numbers game because I think last year I talked to over 50 people and maybe five I still
Really?
communicate with. Yeah. Because people
Ooh.
will listen, people will talk a good game on a conversation, but then they get ghost or they're not serious. And I'm serious. I'm about trying to make my money.
So this is what I do. I have a friend. We've been friends for since 2001. No, her went to school together. She's a CPA. I'm not, but she helped me on my clients with tax stuff, tax returns. She made money. I made money. My client's happy. Boom. That's simple.
Right.
I do taxes. She does taxes, but I can't talk to IRS. She can. I need you to help
Right.
me. I'll pay you. That's simple,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
She's winning. I'm winning. My client wins.
Yeah. Yeah.
So before we close, what's one piece of advice you give either somebody who's starting a business, in business, who wants to start a business, or just anything that you could share with the audience?
Um, ooh, have that budget. I mean, it's just like you said, without a budget, you can't really go nowhere. You can't start a business if you have no idea how much it's going to cost you. You don't know how much you need to make to live comfortably, right? So I think that is just the foundation of it. Um, and then having, finding a good team to work with you, like you said, a bookkeeper, a tax professional, attorney, like it, them people that you need, a banker, you need all four of them in your life to make sure that you are okay. So, and that applies to anybody at any point of business, right? Because you're going to need a budget throughout the life of your business. You're going to need a banker, you're going to need a bookkeeper, you're going to need a financial advisor, and you're going to need a tax professional. That's throughout your life of the business. So,
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you all for tuning in. This is Sandra Morno, my guest on the Your Money Hour podcast. Sandra, thank you for getting with me, and we'll connect off air as well.
yeah, thank you. This was fun. We got to laugh and be real.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm gonna have to bring you back one day.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, thank you for your time.
All right. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.